Welcome to the channel, everybody. Man, we have something crazy for you today. We have a story about a Bigfoot body that was found after being struck by lightning and or crushed by a tree in the 1962 Columbus Day storm. Now that storm was a massive, some say typhoon, that hit the west coast of America over there by Oregon. It had some crazy winds going on with it, and total, well, not total, but a lot of destruction. And supposedly a logging crew found a Bigfoot underneath a body and they sent it away. So what I have for you is I have 3 newspaper articles on this and a couple reports from eyewitnesses. Hope you guys are excited for this. I'm excited to tell it to you guys. Let's get to it. The first newspaper article is from Clayton Lewis, chief reporter from the Independent Daily. As of yesterday, there is still no identification on the strange animal found on Dew Ridge in southern Oregon on November 8th. The creature is something still unidentified, but is said to be some kind of a mutant gorilla human type. It was found deceased by a crew of men who were clearing debris from nearby roads. It was apparently killed by a Douglas fir tree in the massive windstorm of October 12th. Officials from the United States Forest Service are not commenting on the find. An unnamed source said the creature was covered in dark hair. It was not any known animal to any of the people present at the site. People nearby in Cave Junction claim it is the creature in Indian legends known as Sasquatch. Indians claim for hundreds of years these creatures roamed the deep forest of America. The name for these creatures means wild man of the woods, according to Johnny Duncan, a Klamath Indian. The animal was removed by Forest Service officials and was sent to a lab in California, according to the locals in town. The Forest Service spokesman would not confirm nor deny the animal. Alright, that was the first newspaper article, and I'm going to read you the second one. This is from the Amity News, November 14th, 1962. Crews find legendary Bigfoot is the headline. A logging crew contracted through the United States Forest Service found what some say is the legendary Bigfoot. The being is a large, man-like hominid, according to local wildlife biologist Kirk Hansen. The name Bigfoot gained popularity in 1958-1959 when a contractor in Northern California found large prints of an unknown animal on a narrow dirt logging road. The Bigfoot found by the crew is said to be female in sex and very heavy in build. The animal was in a badly decomposed state but was still intact enough to identify as a species not known. A call today to the ranger station produced no information on what the being or animal might be, though several pictures of the animal are circulating about in the surrounding area. Wow. The Forest Service said no information nor identification has been made. Okay, here's the third newspaper article. It was from March of 1963, so the following spring. On a clear and cold November day of the last year, the crew of Griffey and Laird Company were looking for trees blocking the road from O'Brien to Grayback on the Oregon-California border. What they found was nothing short of astonishment when approaching a large downed tree. At first it appeared that a very large black bear had fallen victim to the windstorm of October 12th. Upon closer examination of the animal, the crew saw a foot and a left arm and a hand protruding from under the tree. No known species of animal could explain the body as any known animal that is native to the Pacific Northwest. It was like a large, hair-covered man, only with features somewhat like a prehistoric human or a Neanderthal, but larger than any known to exist. Apparently, the animal had been crushed by a large tree blown over in the storm. The proper authorities were quickly dispatched to the scene and took the animal away for further examination by forensic experts. No further word on what the examination found, but in a curious turn about face, the Forest Service is now saying no such animal was found, removed, or shipped anywhere. In the meantime, many of the people in the area have seen pictures of the dead animal and are accusing the Forest Service of trying to hide the animal from the public. Wow. So those are 3 newspaper articles. Now I'm going to go ahead and get you into a couple reports of people that were literally there at the tree. And then we're going to give you that report from the scientists who supposedly did the autopsy on the Bigfoot. If you're new to the channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, and all of you guys hit that like button. Alright, let's get to it. I'm Jerry Lustin, and was among the guys who found the giant creature in November of 1962. It was in the early hours of November 9th when me and several other men were working the Dew Ridge area, clearing windfalls from the roads in the area. If memory serves me, it was about 8:30 or so when we saw what we thought was a dead bear under a big old growth tree on Dew Ridge. As we approached the bear, it became plain to us that it was not a bear. The animal was something in between ape and human in looks, only larger than anything I've ever seen before or since. The animal was laying under the tree face down and dead. We all looked at it, and to our surprise, this animal had hands and feet, not paws. It was covered in a short crop of black hair, and obviously not anything ever seen by any of us before. We needed a Forest Service foreman to come to the site right away to look at it because we were not to remove any fatalities from windstorm damaged trees without Forest Service being on site. We had well understood protocol to go through in case we came across a car with people in it under a tree. Ranger Guy Adams from Cave Junction arrived and took photos from both sides of the tree. Then more people came up to do the same. As the site filled with Forest Service and unknown people, we were directed to cut a 10-foot section out above the creature for removal. It was after we removed the tree off the animal that they got branch poles out and turned the animal over onto its back. The animal's eyes were open and dried blood was all over the mouth and ears of the animal. The eyes were black in color. Teeth were jagged and yellowish. It had breast on it like a female, only dropped and small in shape. It was female, of course. Everybody was told to stay away from the animal at this point. By noon, a truck had showed up and they used block and tackle to pick up the animal and swing it into the back of the flatbed. At this point, the bigwig from Medford came and they told us to leave that road and go to Glary Creek some 5 miles away to work for the rest of the week. They started acting like squirrels to many of us, nervous and snappy. It was 3 days later when Guy told us that the animal was an ape that escaped from a home in O'Brien. We knew it all was bullshit, because who keeps a 8-foot ape for a pet? We knew when we uncovered the animal it wasn't no ape. We didn't know anything about Bigfoot then, but thought it was some kind of wild man gal. The second person there was Gordon Paisan. Gordon Paisan says, "Yes, I can recall all of that day. As you know, we had a major windstorm that hit on October 12, 1962. The windstorm had wreaked havoc on standing timber from Northern California to Southern Washington. Contracts were awarded to many logging companies to help with the massive cleanup of the roads under U.S. Forest Service jurisdiction. By November, we had over 30 million feet of timber on the ground from wind damage. Grayback was a major artery used from O'Brien to Happy Camp. This area was contracted by Griffey and Laird Company. On a November day, we were called to assist in the removal of deceased remains of victims of the windstorm from Grayback Road. The body had been discovered by the clearing crew and reported to our field office in Medford. What the recovery team was soon to learn was that the remains were not of a human. It was quite apparent that whatever this animal was not human or animal as we would describe animals. The body of this thing was in advanced decomposition, but clearly showed it had 2 arms with hands and 5 fingers along with 2 legs and feet with 5 toes on each that were something of an ape-like human. Also, it was a female in sex, I recall. The thing, for better words, was something of a giant, heavy human ape type. Nobody in our group had ever seen such a thing before. As for the reported photos, they were not supposed to ever be shown, as we did not give permission for the thing to be photographed. But apparently before our arrival, some pictures were taken by the crew and some locals. These pictures were to be collected if possible, because the case had not been classified as natural death yet. Though some photos were not found, much of them were collected as ordered by the district manager of this region. Like I said, the thing was never classified as any known animal. It was thought to be some type of unusual primate, but was never classified as much. My memory is quite clear of that thing, and when the film of the 1967 Bigfoot came out, I remembered this thing very near in it to looks. So my idea is it was a Bigfoot, not ape human. November 9th, 1962, 8:30 a.m., O'Brien, Southwest Oregon, Oregon/California border. An elderly female Bigfoot suffering from Lyme disease, estimated age 40, about 8'2" and weighing 770 pounds, was killed on October 10th when a wild storm knocked a large Douglas fir down, crushing her. A road clearing crew found her, and they did not have the foggiest idea what she was. Even the United States Forest Service did not know what she was. The Bigfoot was badly decomposed. Nevertheless, from the description, she was obviously a Bigfoot. At noon, a truck came and took the creature away. The district manager then ordered all the workers to relocate 5 miles away for the rest of the week. He acted nervous and snappy around the workers. A United States Forest Service photographer, men from a university, along with a logging crew and some locals, took many photos. The district manager of the United States Forest Service ordered that all photos be turned in to him because it had not yet been proven that the death was natural. That is, possibly it was a crime. Not all were turned in, and some of the photos in private hands still exist. For many years, one of the photos was on display in a local restaurant. Wow. 3 days later, the local ranger, Guy Adams from Cave Junction, began spreading a lie that the Bigfoot was pet ape and that had escaped from a local residence. The story was not written up in the local press until 1963. The Bigfoot was sent to California, then to Golden, Colorado, for further examination. From there, in November, the body was sent to the Department of Interior in San Diego for study. A file on the Bigfoot, along with the bones and photos, was sent to the Smithsonian Museum. Then the file case was closed to the public, and the photos in the file were marked classified. The Department of Interior ordered the Smithsonian to send the bones to the Department of Interior on May 24, 1963. The bone structure of the specimen is unknown to DGDS analysis. Tissue samples indicate non-human. Regarding unknown biped, this subject discussed in the original file is complete with the finding of Dr. D.S. Gold. This is a medical conundrum as to the true species of said subject. Subject appears to be some species not known to date. Some indications are most related to humans, yet many indicate of a gorilla type. It is noted that the length of the subject is clearly not gorilla nor human, because subject measurements indicate 98 inches in height. Estimation weight of time of death 770 pounds. This clearly concludes the subject is not consistent with known species of human or gorilla. Conclusion: sample is not consistent with any known species of animal primate known. Seal per request noted. The United States Forest Service could not figure out what the animal was. The feeling that it was some sort of ape, granted it was bigger than apes typically are. The report did not indicate that the animal was a Bigfoot, since the United States Forest Service didn't know what that was at the time. In 1964, the Department of Interior classified the Bigfoot as a very similar to an eastern China mountain gorilla. They thought it was an escaped pet. Much of the remains were destroyed through testing and over time, so there may be very few, if any, left. Now, this was supposedly done by Dr. Miller, Dr. H.A. Miller, and as you guys know, some people think that he's a fraud or that the whole thing is a hoax. Other people do not. So I'm not going to get into that again. If you guys want to hear my opinion on that, check out the last video, and you guys make your own decision. So here we go. In late 1962, early 1963, I was notified of a large human-like creature by the Redding Forest Service folks in California. I arranged for transport of the body to my primary location in Colorado. It was reported to me that the body was found under a large tree that had been violently struck by lightning and blown to the ground, apparently killing this large creature. The creature found in 1962-63 also had scent glands on her forearms. This is more evidence that Pacificus is arboreal to some extent, leaving scent marks up and down the tree while climbing. Not only was this creature smashed by the large tree, but she was also badly burned with areas of lightning prints on exposed skin. I notated in my medical examination report of the body that it seemed as though lightning struck the animal passing through the body and into the tree, subsequently weakening the tree and causing it to fall to the ground. It did seem as though the animal had fallen to the ground first, with the tree falling on top of her afterwards. But the evidence as to whether the animal fell first or with the tree is inconclusive. However, it is clear that lightning struck the tree at a decent height at over 40 feet. Therefore, this animal must have been clinging to the tree at the time of the lightning strike. More evidence of the boreal nature of Pacificus Bigfoot. Alright, so there you guys go. Another report about Bigfoot body found. Reports from people that were there, eyewitnesses, newspaper articles. Some people are still going to say, oh, it's a hoax. Alright, that's your opinion. Some people out there are going to be like, no, this is absolutely true. So, you guys make up your minds. I'm not here to tell you what to think. That's up to you guys. I just give you guys the information. Try to present it to you in a nice, entertaining fashion. Hopefully you guys will like it. Hit that like button for me. And, leave me comments. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Share the video on social media. Having said all of that, hope you guys really did enjoy this video. It was pretty cool. The next one coming up is the Mount St. Helens. Bodies found at Mount St. Helens. Wait till you guys hear this story. When that blew up, man, I can't wait to tell you that one. So that one's coming next. Always remember, guys, where there is a Willstar, there is a way. And we'll see you guys later.